So why
Yeah.
did you start posting online?
So honestly, was because I saw so many other TikToks and like other, like YouTubers like you and stuff like that make these videos. I always thought they were so cool, and I always wanted to be able to do that or
I
something
think
like
she saw
that.
the van and she's like, "That looks like yours." I was like, "No way," because I was like, "I haven't seen that." And then I saw it. I'm
Yeah,
like, "Oh,
I
okay."
love it. It's the best. I personally I love it.
I see in the comments, like I go look at everybody's stuff. Like you get a lot of kids that are looking to get into the trades or just
Yeah.
starting out, and they're on YouTube, on TikTok. So it's always good to
Mhm.
see that. And I think this episode, this conversation, kind of hit on a lot of good things for those people that are looking to get into it,
Yeah, I hope that's yeah, that was
or
my
they
goal
just
with this.
started. Hola, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Reliable Trades podcast. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and you like this video. And if you're listening to this on the audio over on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or any other platform, please leave a review. That's all free and it helps support the show and helps it get out to more people. And of course, I'm your host, Adrian Garcia. I am an HVAC technician, licensed contractor here in Texas, and I've been doing this about 18 years. And we just have a lot of good conversations with good people in different trades now, whether it's HVAC, plumbing, electrical. I've had some others in like auto mechanics, anything like that. You bring them on, have a good conversation, and hopefully get more trade awareness out there. So I appreciate everybody who's watched or listened, all the support and making this podcast successful and what it is now. I also want to thank the sponsors of the show, like Jobber, which is a CRM that we use to run our business, which is invoicing, quoting, scheduling jobs, maintenance contracts, and all our technicians on our team usually pick it up relatively quickly. I just have to show them what it is and they are able to get out there and start, invoicing. It's been great running our business with Jobber now. And if you guys want a free trial and discount, make sure to check the link down below, getjobber.com/reliable HVACR. I also want to thank Vito Pro Pack, the best quality bags that money can buy, literally. If you invest in these bags, as I did, during the whole pandemic, I ripped so many backpacks and tool pouches that I finally, I found Vito. I think there were some YouTube videos, tried them out. I did the buy one, get one, which that's going on right now. If you guys ever want to buy or try Vito Pro Pack, spring promotion is the best time of year by far. So check out Vito Pro Pack at your supply house or go to vitopropack.com to learn more. And the podcast is also brought to you by Local. Local HQ is a marketing that is geared towards the trades, and they can help you with your HVAC digital marketing so that you can dominate your local service areas with proven strategies that get your business more leads. They can help you rank higher on Google and all that you would need. So reach out to them at localhq.com/reliable and mention me or the Reliable Trades podcast and get 2 months of SEO for free. I mean, it's a good lesson to learn, right? When you screw up, you're not going to forget it. You're reliving
Oh
it
my
right
gosh,
now.
no.
It's
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
vivid in your mind right now.
I'm sick right now talking about it.
Yeah, like you're not going to forget these things, but those are the
Yeah.
things that teach you like to be better. So like even with me,
Mhm.
I've burned boards, I've burned holes through copper trying to, braze stuff together.
Yep.
And like as long as you don't do it again, it's a lesson learned, right? So
Mhm.
a lot of that's happened to me. I've been shocked so many times too. So I
Gosh.
am
Yes.
just careful, or I double check or triple check now that make to make
Mhm.
sure I'm not gonna like, because I've been there too. Like you go there for like a simple, that's the worst feeling, like you said. Like you go there for like a simple call or a cleaning or whatever it is, and then you
Mhm.
have to replace parts because you did something wrong, right? So that's always the worst
Mhm.
feeling, but
Yeah,
it's a lesson learned. And I
always.
always tell people, and I was told this too, when I started, I was told this, and I just relay it to everybody else. Like if we break something, we can fix it. So like that happened
Mhm.
to you. I mean, it costs money, right? But they'll put that transformer back in and everything will be fine, right? They'll put it back together, it's working again.
Yep.
Customers taken care of usually. We've had those, and the customer gets a free call or whatever it is. Like, we don't charge for that, obviously, and we just explain to them, we made a mistake or something happened, right? You always cover
Yeah.
for them, but
Yeah.
like if you and someone else brought up to me, like, usually they called you there. Well, maintenance is a little different, but usually they call you there because it's already broken. So if you mess something up, like, it's broken anyway, like you're gonna fix it.
Mhm.
So don't
Yeah.
worry about it. That's always everybody's concern. It was my concern for the longest time, like, don't screw up. But
Mhm.
just when you're learning, that is what you need. You need the experience, you need the hands-on, or you're just not gonna get it.
No, 100%. And that's like the lack of consistency of when I would be able to like actually touch things and then not, and then also like jumping from company to company so early on. Because when I left the first company, like I was in between an apprentice and like a junior tech. So like it's like, what do I tell the next company? Like how like do I now have to start over at an apprentice somewhere else? Like so, it was a really tough area, but like when I got to this company I'm at now, they took off those training wheels completely and just let me touch everything, diagnose everything. Like it was like fire, 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 fire. And then eventually it was like, all right, it's starting to click. It's starting to, the gears are starting to move. I'm starting to feel a little more comfortable on each call. Like, like and it's always the simple things too that like sometimes you go out on a call and you overlook. Like I was at a call and the unit wasn't turning on at all. And usually for me, that's always a little easy because it's like, all right, it just needs the voltage. Where is it losing voltage? And I'm doing the most and just looking here, looking there. It was a wire nut for the float switch that was loose and having a bad connection. And when I fixed it, everything popped on. And I'm just
Yeah,
like, I'm over here like, what in the world?
yeah, we had a guy that would do that, and like, I'm not mad at him, but like, we would
Mhm.
tell him, don't jump to like the bigger stuff. Like, go
Yeah.
like, just simplify it. And I have the same. That's usually how I approach things when I get there. Like you said, if it's off, okay, let's start checking for power, right? And you're just gonna go
Mhm.
down the line, incoming power, and then you start checking your contactors or your low voltage. You start going, like, it's broken somewhere, right?
Mhm. Yep.
Don't immediately go like to something big, like something big gave out or whatever.
Mhm.
And and I had that happen recently too. I think it was one of my last videos. Like, the fan motor wasn't spinning. I was like, oh, we probably have a bad
Mhm.
motor. And then I go back to do something else, and it was just a capacitor. I'm like, shit, okay. So
Oh man.
like like the motor
Yeah.
was still, I think it had been replaced already, so it was still decent. It's just the capacitor had swelled up for whatever reason. So like, I was like, I wish I had caught that last time because I could have put the capacitor in the last time I was here, but I was doing something else. So I was like, whatever. So sometimes you miss things. So always
Mhm.
take your time. Go. I approach things, or I try to, one by one. That one caught me off guard because I had so much other stuff going on with that unit that I was like, I don't even want to deal
Mhm.
with that right now. Like, if it needs a motor, I'll do it,
Yeah.
next time, because it was down
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly.
And
Okay, okay.
I think it was like a weekend or a Friday afternoon or something like that. So stuff happens. If As long as you take your
Yeah.
time and approach it, because even like you, I mean, any reason why you started your? I know you're on TikTok. I think you're on
Mhm.
other platforms too as well, right?
Just Instagram right now, Instagram and
Okay.
TikTok.
So why
Yeah.
did you start posting online?
So honestly, was because I saw so many other TikToks and like other like YouTubers like you and stuff like that make these videos. I always thought they were so cool, and I always wanted to be able to do that. And I had the logo made, everything like right. It was in 2023. I was like, I have the logo made for whenever I'm ready to start the social media, like whenever I get
Okay.
my own van. Like even if it's just like me changing filters, like I just wanted to get out there and start doing, you know what I mean? So when I got my own van, I remember telling my buddy, I'm like, I'm just gonna go for it. Like, I'm just gonna do it. I want to be able to help, whoever's like my age in the trade and is afraid, like, doesn't know if they should do it, doesn't know if they should hop in, how they should get in. Or I've even had older people, they're like 35, 40. They're like, is it too late? Like, I don't think it's ever too
Oh
late. I don't
yeah.
think it's ever too early. I think start now. If you want to do it, start now, So
I get that question a
just being
lot.
able to, yeah, being able to, sort of inspire people like, I'm 19 and they're like, all right, well, if he could do it, why can't I? So being able to help out and stuff like that, that means the world to me.
That's always my motto is like, if I can do it,
Mhm.
you can do it. Cause like,
Yeah, I'm no one
I don't think
special.
I'm,
Yeah,
yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think I'm anything special,
yeah,
but uh,
yeah,
whether it's the HVAC stuff or the content creation, I'm like, if I can do it, you can do it. I have
yeah.
my mind is like always everywhere. I'm like, and I can sit
Hmm.
down and fix an AC unit or whatever it is. I'm like, just
Hmm.
learn it and take your time. And then I had seen your TikTok, and it's funny because I had actually came across it, and my girlfriend saw it, and she's like, "That's the only other van that I've seen that's like yours because you have like a raised floor there too."
Yep.
And I was
Yeah. Oh,
like,
that's
"Shit, I've
awesome. So
never."
she's seen the van video or
I
something
think
like
she saw
that.
the van, and she's like, "That looks like yours." I was like, "No way," because I was like, "I haven't seen that." And then I saw it. I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
I
okay."
love it. It's the best. I personally, I love it. I love having the raised
I
floor.
learned to like it because when we bought it, because we buy ours like slightly used because we're small, and
Mhm.
I always tell
Yeah,
people you don't have to
it's
buy
same here. Yeah.
the new vans and get yourself in debt and all that.
No,
I know
yeah,
some people,
it's just gotta work. Yeah.
yeah, some people do the lease thing. I was like, I don't know, we're not savvy with our taxes. Like we're not there yet. We're a small
Yeah.
company. We pay
Yeah.
cash. It's cheaper that way.
Yeah.
And
That's the best way too.
I got a hell of a deal on that, and it was already
Mhm.
outfitted, right? That's what I like too, is like they're
Mhm.
usually outfitted with the racks or whatever,
Mhm.
the shelving, and it's usually cheaper than even the equipment, the shelving and the racks and everything.
Mhm.
That is crazy expensive when you got to outfit
Oh my gosh.
a new van, right?
Mhm.
So we saw this one, and my dad's like, "Can you use it?" Because he's like, "It has a lot of stuff in there." I was like, "It's an interesting layout. I'll make it work." And I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the best. Yeah, no, for sure. Like, I think I would argue to say it's even pointless to buy a brand new van and outfit it when you could get slightly used and then it's like a thousands cheaper and you're ready
Yeah.
to go. Like you just get the, what I mean? Like I think it's weird that some people will actually just buy a whole brand new van and stuff. And I get like wanting the longevity, but most of the time the vans they're gonna run. I mean, we have the lead tech here that we have, he has the Ford Transit with like 200 something thousand miles, and that thing runs beautifully. No problems. I
I
mean, it's little
have
things here and there, but
Yeah, mine's like over 100,000 already. I know I put some miles
yeah,
on it because I work everywhere. Like I go out of town a lot, but
yeah,
it runs fine. I love the drive on it. And my
uh-huh,
last van that has been like I ran that one into the ground, but my last van, my
yeah,
dad has it. He was going to sell it, but that one I think
uh-huh,
already hit 300,000 miles, and it still runs. He's like, I can't get rid of it because it runs too good, right? Like
yeah. Like
it's a
why
backup
why not? Yeah,
it's a backup van
exactly.
now, and I think he does use it every now and then just because he likes it. But
Mhm,
I tell people because some people go out there, and I notice it because I always look at the companies. I'm in a smaller area, but it's like it's Texas. Like it you like 20. I got to go 20, 30 minutes out just to get to like the next town or whatever. But like I
mhm,
know the companies here. I always pay attention, and it's always funny because you see companies pop up a lot. But like I always pay attention. Like, are they here? 2 years later, 3 years later, whatever it is, because like you'll see them with brand new vans and brand new wraps and like all this, like they're gung ho, and then like I think they
mhm,
just spend their money in the wrong areas because we went through that too. Like we didn't know what to buy and this and that, but I had used vehicles like we had a used pickup truck that we started with, and then we got some
mhm.
vans, but
Yeah.
they've all been used, and I
Mhm,
had hand me down recovery and vacuum pumps, and we bought them off of other techs. Like I never had
mhm,
anything brand new, but I worked with that, you know. I also want to thank Diversitech. They simplify your work. They have everything a contractor needs to complete a job. That goes from equipment mounting, condensate management, tools, maintenance chemicals, electrical components, indoor air quality, and much more. They have different branches under the same umbrella. more than likely you're already using some of their products or tools. So go check out diversitech.com, and it's your one-stop shop for everything HVAC. I've gotten a lot of compliments on these line set penetration covers. They're basically, when you get an install done, you have the line set coming out the house or whatever a wall you came out of. You normally have to put like foam spray or cover it up somehow. Eric's has these covers that just look professional, and I like the form factor. I've seen others and they're a little bit too bulky. This one, it just gives you what you need. They have two different models. If you need a slimmer one, they have that too. And what I really like is they finally have now one for existing line sets. Now it's two pieces, and you kind of just put them together over the line set and then mount it and drill it in. And it's a good selling point to make an existing install look better. I've gotten so many compliments, like I said. So make sure you go over to ericsmfg.com and check them out.
The startup from the company I work at, because it's my best friend and their dad, they're always so transparent on how they started up and stuff, and it's just crazy. So even he said that he would only braise with the little MAP gas cans, where it's just
I
literally just,
I can't do that.
and he said and that was for a year just to start out, and now we have actual brazing equipment, but
Yeah.
for the first year, so like they really thugged it out. But also he has a, at least with tool wise and stuff, like the owner, he's like, I like quality, so like he goes for field piece. Like if he
Mm.
has the money and it's realistic,
Oh yeah.
like he's gonna buy quality, because he's like, I don't want to be back in 6 months to now have to buy another one because we decided to jump on Facebook Marketplace and or these little other websites, and then it ends up being crappy.
But I remember
Yeah.
because I started with analog, right? So I mean that was what
Mhm,
everything was. Digital came in like years later, but my
mhm.
dad was like super excited to get me the digital gauges and stuff. And I was like, oh, like I
Yeah.
was so used to
Yeah.
analog, and I broke them right away. Like it wasn't a good
Oh,
feeling.
no.
And I had to send them out
Oh,
for repair, but uh
yeah.
yeah, like with those, which is why like right now I need to finish editing all my review videos, because
Mhm,
like you you need a tool to last, and I get it, because I've even seen you have already the Vito bags. I see the Milwaukee tools. You're
mhm.
like, it looks like you're strictly Milwaukee.
A little bit, yeah, just a little bit.
So
I
like
love Milwaukee.
there's two ways about that. Like,
Yeah.
because I've had my tools stolen a couple times. So like one time I did have to go out and get
Oh, wow.
like Harbor Freight tools just to get
Man.
by. And
Yeah,
the other
holy
side of
cow.
that is like, yeah, if you can invest, do it, because you're gonna, you want them to last. Well, I
Yeah.
would say
Yeah, that's
I
what I
would
was
say like
thinking.
when you start anything, whether you're a new technician or a new company, it's not like the most important thing to be spending that kind of money on like everything, right? Like you can
Mhm,
kind of like get some good stuff and get some cheap stuff. And
mhm.
I think Jake, because we had the nights, and I think somebody asked for like advice, and he's like, don't spend your money like on expensive tools right away. He's like, you're gonna lose them
Mhm.
anyway. And I was like, that's a good point,
Oh
because
my gosh, yeah,
I
I've
have lost so many tools, and or somebody walks away with it. You work with other guys, and it disappears. I've had that happen a
yeah.
lot too. So like, yeah, you got to
Mhm,
pick and choose, but like once you're comfortable and all that, like a few years in, like really invest in some tools, because they're gonna last you. Like I had those field piece probes for a long time. I've been trying out all the
mhm.
new probes that come out, and they don't last. I break them real quick.
Oh,
So that's the
okay.
video I'm editing right now. But that
Mhm.
you gotta, I don't know, you gotta pick and choose. And uh, what's your favorite Vito? Why did you get Vito bags? Was that something that you got or they got for you?
So I knew not one
Because
tool
I
or
see the Vito
any
shirt.
brand. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So not one brand at all I knew about anything. And when I got into trade school, my buddy's like, "Yeah, like I'm getting a tool bag soon. It's Vito. They do backpacks, stuff like that." So he's like, "They're like $300 though." And I'm like, "I am not spending
They
$300."
Yeah, they were when
Yeah.
I first, because I'm used to buying the ones at the supply house, right? They're cheap, like
Hmm.
under
Yeah.
$100. And
Yeah.
I was like, you got to be kidding me, right? $300 for a tool
Hmm.
bag. But then I started buying them, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep, that's what it was. So I bought, or no, actually, I can't even say I bought. My girlfriend for Christmas, she bought me the
Nice.
tech backpack. And so I'm like, oh my gosh. So then I forgot, I think I was getting ready to graduate. It was while I was in school, I was getting ready to graduate, and I was talking how I was like, it'd be cool if I got like a service bag so then I don't always have to have that big backpack. She's like, all right. And then she went on and did the spring promo and got
Oh,
the I think it
nice.
was the TPXL where the front folds open, the black
Yeah.
one. And it came with another one that I sold on Facebook Marketplace and got like a pouch that I use for maintenances and stuff. But
Okay.
that's how that started. But from my buddy originally telling me about Vito, and then I got this shirt at AHR, the expo. It was in Orlando,
Oh
and
yeah.
I did an interview with I don't know if you've seen him on YouTube, the American Electrician. He does like the
Oh
tour
yeah.
reviews and
Yeah. I've talked to him. Yeah.
okay, so I talked to him at AHR and we were chopping it up, and then I did an interview for him. I
Hmm.
don't know if he ever posted it or anything,
He has
but
like so
for
much
that,
stuff that he's
yeah,
posting right now.
exactly. So he's like, if you do an interview, I forgot what it was. I think it was like a hat or something. I was like, can I do a shirt? And he's like, cool. So that's how I ended up getting the shirt from him. So it was cool how that all worked out. But full circle moment completely because I used to watch him all the time, like figuring out what tools I wanted and
Oh, I
then
know. He
going to
has
the
like a
Vito.
video. He
Yeah, oh
has a
my
video for
gosh.
every situation. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And so like being at that expo, I mean like I was in my glory seeing Milwaukee and Vito and just like a yellow jacket and just all these different like brands that I'm like I use these every day. Field Piece was there too. Like it was great. Like it was awesome. So no,
It's
that's how
cool.
I just yeah.
It's cool to see the tools that are coming out, right? But it's also cool to
Yeah.
like just talk to the people at the booth and stuff because
Hmm.
they'll show you everything and they'll talk to you because
Yeah.
like you mentioned, Field Piece, the booth there. I've talked to Tony plenty of times. It's always good to see him in person. And then
Hmm.
Milwaukee had that recovery machine that's supposed to be out next year. Can't wait to see that.
Oh my
And
gosh, yes, that looks awesome. Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, man, there's a lot of cool things. I didn't even get to see the whole expo. Like it was so much
Hmm.
to, and I've been to it several years. It's so I never get to do everything I want to. It's just so much.
It's massive. Yeah. It was my first one ever, so it's massive. It definitely
Yep.
was it was overwhelming actually, honestly.
Oh, I know, because that happened to me the first time.
It's just like everyone offering something but just slightly different. Like what makes them stand out from the rest, and just so much, so much. I was just like, oh my gosh, I need to
That's
take a
where
break for
you
a second.
that's where you start thinking about marketing, like who's
Yeah.
good at marketing because you
Hmm.
go there and I'm like, I didn't know there was this many press fittings and tools out there, but
Oh my
I
gosh,
only
yeah.
I only know of like two, right? And then
Hmm.
same thing with anything. Like there's a bunch of people there that, like you said, have like mini splits that I've never heard of. Um,
Hmm.
there's like I saw some people hitting up like the little booth uh sections, like people that have stuff that looks like field piece. They have probes, they
Hmm.
have this and that, and I was like, I've never heard of them, but yeah, they're out there. You'll see them on the HR floor.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely like crazy things. Like I think the RLS press thing was the coolest one I saw. Like just like the no braze now where you could just go and press but they're so expensive. The press.
Yeah, it's an investment. Because
Yeah.
people ask about it all the time. Because I do use it. I don't use it a lot, so I'm not
Mhm.
getting like I'm not using it on everything. But uh, I always tell them. I mean, I was talking to Jake about it recently. It's an investment in the tool, mostly the jaws. Like that's your initial investment, right?
Yeah.
Like with anything, I mean, you can charge a fee, you can charge whatever you want, and just
Yep.
over the jobs, over time, you'll get that money back, right? But
Mhm.
like the fittings, I don't I don't care too much if they cost like because they cost me like $10 to $20 each fitting. I normally
Mhm.
only need like four around
Oh,
there
okay.
when
Yeah.
I do my jobs right because you're just hooking up the evaporator and then hooking up the condenser.
Uh,
That's when I
yep.
use it. So you got like
Mhm.
four connections there, right? Four fittings. At the
Yeah.
most, that's like $80, $70, whatever.
Mhm.
Like yeah. So is it worth the extra 80 bucks just to get it done quickly and then move on to actually like wiring it up and doing other things?
Mhm.
Um, to me, it is. So I like doing it. I'm like,
Yeah.
an extra 80 bucks on the bill. I don't like, even if I just pass the cost to the customer, they're not going to care about an extra 80 bucks or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Probably
Right.
won't even notice. Yeah.
So for me, it's not a big deal. And I had to learn
Mhm.
that a lot in the beginning. Like I said, we didn't know how to run a business. So we didn't charge for everything when we started. So like now we charge
Mhm.
like a fee to braze, a fee to like
Yep.
recover. Like there's fees that
Yep.
you got to put in there because those are consumables, right? You got to refill your
Mhm.
tanks. You got to refill this. Like they're not
Mhm.
free. I mean, you pay for your oxygen, your acetylene, all that stuff. So
Yep.
make sure you charge for that. It's always something that I try to tell people. Like, if you're worried about the cost of the fitting, are you charging for, the other stuff that you're paying for? Like, it has to make
Mhm.
sense. I also want to thank our new sponsors, CallRail. So I've been more into marketing and just online presence with our business, even though we only do commercial. Word of mouth is really good for any business. But once you get to a place where you want to be, a big name online or just anywhere, be recognizable, like I said, online presence, have a nice website, be able to be searchable in Google and all these different search engines, and just have a big presence. You need to know where to spend your money. And all I'm going to say is that CallRail can help you track that if that's something that you're interested in. CallRail can tell you, hey, these are not working so much. These are working really good. Stop spending your money here. Put more money and effort into this, and just be smarter about what you spend. So make sure you go by callrail.com. They do have a no risk free trial and you can check it out for yourself. I also want to thank another new sponsor, Residio. Basically, they help with a sustainable home and they make it a safer, cleaner, and smarter home. They have so many things that work together. They were showing me the new thermostats that they have going on, how it's implemented together, and all these different little, smart devices that connect and talk to each other. So if you want to learn more, head over to residio.com and check it out for yourself.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing that I've been able to learn working under my boss now. He's super transparent. He's like, most of the time, a lot of people just don't know how to run the company. Like they might be the best technician, but, like, on the back end, like, with, like, charging and pricing and everything like that, like, they're not charging for everything, and then, like, when all these, like, things pop up, they're like, "Where's the money going?" You know? So,
Yeah,
he's been able to really teach me, like, he's pushing me and his son to, like, learn, because I want you guys to get your contractor's license. Like, he wants us to become entrepreneurs and own our own business and stuff like that.
that's
So,
awesome.
being able to learn under him has been like such a blessing because it's like you really like I'm really getting to see it's not just going out and fixing a unit. Like, okay, now what are we going to charge him? Now, this, that. So like it's been really cool seeing that
Yeah, like we
stuff.
have all our guys do the invoicing. Like we don't like
Hmm.
step in and try to do everything. So you got to
Hmm.
learn all that. Like, and that's always something that, I mean, it's good under him that you guys are seeing that and he's encouraging that and the license and all
Hmm.
that he wants you guys to do, because you don't see that a lot of companies, they don't want their technicians to do all that, right? They don't want them to have
Hmm. Yep,
any
I've been at those
advantage or,
companies.
yeah, they
Yeah.
don't like that. And I've had so many people that message me about that they want their license but they're like, I'm afraid, to get fired or something crazy. So they don't, not a lot of companies like that, but like
Oh,
with us,
100%.
I don't really care. Like if,
Yeah.
because people always ask me like if I'm worried about losing work. I'm like, I don't want my guys, taking my customers, obviously, but
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I tell them, as if you have side work, if you have other stuff, like do it. I don't care. And
Yep.
even if I get residential calls, I'll ask one of the guys like, do you want it? I don't want to do, like I'm
Hmm.
at a point where I don't want to work on the weekends, so like I don't want those
Yeah.
calls, right? I don't want side work. So we have
Yeah.
the guys, if they want to do it, they can do it. I don't really care. So for me, like what I want to start doing is like just training people. And if they want to stay,
Hmm.
they can stay. If they want to leave, they can leave. I'd rather have
Yeah.
just the help when
Better.
I need it right?
Mhm.
Young guys can come in because that's another thing I've heard is it's hard to get a job based on experience because a lot of companies want somebody experienced, right? So I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I could probably start something where I just take in apprentices and train them for a year or two and then let them go get that job that they were looking for, right? So
Mhm.
I'm all for that. I'm like, I'll train
That's
anybody. I'll
awesome.
do all that because I'm trying to
Yeah,
step
that's
back
awesome.
myself, kind of like
Mhm.
what your friend's dad is doing. He's probably like let
Mhm.
them do their thing and let the
Yep.
business just run because you don't want to be
Yeah.
like worried about it all the time. Like you need your technicians to do a lot, honestly.
Um,
And
no,
I mean,
yeah, 100%.
oh, go ahead.
No, no, I was just gonna say no. Like I agree exactly what you're saying. Like he definitely steps back and he's like, you guys are grown adults. Like you guys know what calls you have. You know what you have to do. Like just go do it. He's even with side work and stuff. Like the other day, I got a side work and I call him up. I'm like, hey, do you want me to throw my tools in my car and go do this side work? It was like 7 o'clock at night, or I was like, can I take the van? It's like 10 minutes from my house. He's like, take the van. You got everything in it. Like he like super super great dude. Like he doesn't, he's not stingy. He's not like, oh, that's my van, you don't take that there. Like it's not your side work, it's my work. And he's just like, look, you want to use a part on the van, just replace it, charge the customer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if it's a friend or family, say, hey, it's $100 to put onto my van, so then and then charge obviously so you can make a profit or whatever. So he'll literally help me price up a job that I'm doing by myself. So
Yeah.
like, I mean, it's almost unheard of when I tell people, they're like, "Your boss helps you with that?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's solid, so he helps out a lot."
If you're doing this business correctly, you don't care, right? Like
Exactly.
a lot of companies get like that because they're worried about losing money or losing business or going out of
Mhm,
business, and they're probably not doing well. Like I'm at a point where like we're doing so well, I don't care. So that's
mhm.
why, like I said, if I get people in here that just want to work for like a year or two, I don't care. I'll train them. They can go somewhere else.
Yeah,
They can go for my
yeah.
competitor. I don't care.
Mhm.
My dad, I think my dad or somebody told me like, what if you train them so well and then they go to the competitor? I'm like, yeah, it's like whatever, right? But if we treat them well, maybe like if they're really good, I would want to keep them, obviously. But
Yeah,
I mean, I don't care. Like we do the same thing with our guys. Like if we tell them if you use a part, just replace it, right? That's the simplest thing you can do. And yeah, some companies, I guess they're afraid of going out of business and they get like that. But I
yeah.
mean, at the end of the day, I think there's work for everybody.
And that's exactly what my boss says. He's like, there's so much work around here. He's like, there's companies who are so stingy, and he can't understand why. Because he's like, if you price everything correctly, if you have great relationships with all your customers, like you shouldn't be worried about losing them. Like there's so much work. I mean, I think there's like thousands of contractors licensed in Tampa Bay area alone. Like
Oh
I like
yeah.
crazy number of just licensed and not even unlicensed, not even people like me who will help a family or a friend or whatever the case is. So like it's just crazy that everyone eats, everyone still makes money, and I see so many different trucks on the road. Like they're obviously doing well if you got trucks out there. So it's like there's so much work to go around, and to be stingy about it is just like, I feel like there's something wrong on
Well,
their end.
yeah, exactly. And I've never
Yeah.
liked the the tension when I go and see another company or another technician. Like I would rather just have a talk or because
Yeah.
I've run into guys and we have some that we talk to right now, and I ran into one. Oh, well, I think his name was Alex at AHR because he's from my area, and we
Hmm.
just talked and like we're cool. Like I don't care. Like we do the same work, but I don't
Yeah.
see it as competition, right?
No, yeah,
So like
exactly.
we were talking and it's the same talk that I had or my dad had with somebody here. Like we started talking about like what customers don't pay or what customers like are good or bad, this and that.
Mhm,
And I was like, this is a conversation I'd rather have with other companies, like kind of
mhm.
helping each other out a little bit. Cause like I had a restaurant that called, but they filed for bankruptcy or something and they were switching managers and I thought they were going out of business, but I guess they were able to sell it and then they got somebody else, but they
Um,
were known for hiring everybody to fix things and then just not paying and then going to the next company, hiring, right, and not paying, and then
Not
the next
paying.
company. So I told him,
Yeah.
I was like, we got lucky, we got, but my dad is smarter now too. So
Hmm.
we got paid for the big job that I did. I did like a I don't know if it was a patch repair. Like I did something where I had to braze and all this other stuff, right?
Yeah.
So they paid it. The next call we didn't get paid for, but it was like it was like less than 200 bucks or something because it was
Okay.
just like a quick check or something. So that one they
Yeah.
didn't pay, but the like the $1,000 whatever it was invoice, they paid that. And my
Okay.
dad, and I'm the same way too. If they're a new customer, they gotta pay quicker or a deposit or something. And then
Hmm.
if there's an unpaid invoice, we won't go back out unless that's paid, right? So there's different things that you got to put in place because if take everybody at their word and you're just doing work, and you're waiting to get paid,
Hmm.
you're not going to get paid. I mean, I hate to say
Yeah.
it because we've had that
No,
before.
it's true. Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to
It
put
it
something
it's
into place like a deposit on new customers or
mhm.
not doing the next call unless the last one's been paid for. That's how we deal with like newer customers.
Yeah, no, I think we do work for this general contractor as well. He has a big construction company, and for those jobs, those are a little bit crazier of installs and take up a lot of time. So we sub out those. But the sub we use, it's a consistent same guy. But it's like if we're not getting paid from the contractor, we can't pay out our sub. So like it came to a point one time where we had to take a pause because we weren't getting paid, and then we couldn't pay them. So everyone was kind of just like at a stuck point. So it was those situations are always tough.
Then I would love to just be the technician just running calls because that would be my
Yeah.
ideal thing is just knocking out calls.
Oh,
It's
I
the
love it.
business
Yeah.
part. It's the business part that people don't
Yeah.
think about, right? And everybody wants to
Yeah.
open up a business. Everybody wants to do this and that. And
Yeah.
I'm like, have you really thought about it, right? Because I will 100% encourage it, but make sure you know what you're getting into. Because, like I said, a lot of
Yeah.
companies don't make it.
No, 100%. And that's the nitty gritty that I'm glad I get to see working where I'm at now
Yeah.
because it's not sunshines and rainbows when you own a business. It's not you sit back and everyone else goes to work because it comes to a point where you're not just going to hire people when you first start. It's got to be you. You know what I mean? You got to get
Oh
some
yeah.
sort of money flowing. And so it's going to be late nights, early mornings, weekends, holidays don't exist. Like it's tough until you kind of get it off the ground.
You know, you know how long it took me to convince my dad that we're closed on holidays? It took a long
Oh man.
time. We were open
Yeah.
24/7.
Yep. Yep. And
We took
that's
calls on Christmas, we took calls on New Year's, we take calls like during Thanksgiving. Like we did all that. Now we are closed. Like unless it's like the
mhm,
biggest emergency ever, we'll take
mhm.
it. But we are like we tell our customers ahead of time, we're gonna be closed these days or these hours, whatever, and anything that comes in will get done after.
Yeah. No. And my boss, I don't know if he's ever actually said we're closed or open on holidays, but it's like he doesn't have us do. Like if it's him, it might be, but even then I don't think he'll take anything.
Like he just won't
And he
schedule
kind of
it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He just won't schedule it. Like if anything is, he'll just put it off. Or again, if it's something like you said, like just out of this world, like emergency, he'll be there and he'll make sure that everything gets fixed. But I haven't had to work a holiday for him yet, so I'm kind of happy about that.
I remember those days, man. I used to work late night,
Yeah.
midnight, holidays. I used to work
Oof.
out of town because we used to like you. I think we mentioned it earlier. Some companies are desperate. We were desperate at one point,
Yeah.
and taking calls that were like 3 hours out, 4 hours out, just because we wanted that customer
Yeah.
because they had, like I said, we do restaurants. They had a chain of restaurants, and we're like, okay, we'll take care of
Okay, that
that.
makes sense. Yeah.
Get in with them, and this and that, and it did
Hmm.
benefit us, but like that was a lot of hustling, and that's all it is, right?
Yeah.
When you start
Yeah.
a business or when you start as a technician, take advantage of those first few years because you're just going to be hustling, hustling, hustling.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a hustle. I mean, I tell him all the time, I was like, I can't imagine how you wear all these hats at one time, business, technician, husband, father, like, you know what I mean? Like it's not just work. It's also you got to balance it, and it's just so hard sometimes because like, how do you come home after the most chaotic day, 140-degree attic, folded up like a pretzel, and then you got to come home and be sweet to your wife or your girlfriend, and you just like want to go in the room and just never talk to anybody. But you can't do that because they didn't do anything, you know. They
Yeah.
want to see you come home, and they've been waiting for you all day. So it's like it's not only just the business, it's also like how like the balance of it and like just being like around it, like with my boss, like you know, I get to learn a lot, you know, so it's crazy.
It's a good way to segue into my next question is, do you have any hobbies or any way that you decompress after work or to get your mind off of work?
Honestly, lately it's been like a grind with TikTok, so it's like I feel like right now I've been just going, 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 but I just honestly just hanging out with my family. Like that's for me, just being around them and just turning off my phone or just being
Yeah.
away from HVAC. For me, like I think I just posted a video too, like how I spend my time away from HVAC, like going on date nights or going on hangouts, you know what I mean? Like that stuff for me is so important. Like it's like I will do whatever I can to make sure that happens over going to a call, like so. And my boss, he's good with that too. Like he's like, you have plans, you have plans, like go do that. Your family's important. I mean, there was a time where I was supposed to be in Disney for 3 days, and he was actually leaving, so he was going to be out of town. And there was a day where none of us were going to be able to take a call. He didn't, not 1 ounce of any frustration. He said, "No, you had those plans. You go do that with your family." Not 1 ounce of him was, "Oh, reschedule it, this, that." He's like, so. But family for me is 100% how I decompress from all things HVAC.
Yeah, you have to because and we do that too because like our guys, if they have something with their kids or any, day that they
Mhm,
need, or like even like medical stuff, right? They got doctor visits or
mhm.
their
Yeah.
spouses need to be taken in or whatever. Like we've had those come up. My dad's like, take the day, take whatever you need. And
Hmm.
even with me, because I do the whole like AHR trip now, and I take these trips here and there, and I've been trying to do that more. I like to travel, so I've been trying to do that a little
Yeah.
bit more. Get out of here, just kind of don't even think about work.
Yeah,
Um,
Vegas too coming up for AHR.
oh, that's gonna be a good one because yeah, I was
Yeah,
like, we need to go to that one.
yeah.
It's a good time, but like even if well, my dad's a little different. He'll complain for like a quick second. He's like, oh,
Hmm.
this, or what are we gonna do? And then he's like, nah, but take it. He's like, you need it. Take the time
Yeah.
off. He's like, we'll
Hmm.
take care of it, or I'll tell the customer like to reschedule. Like it's not a big deal. So he
Yeah.
he has my back. It's just like I get that quick second of like he's upset for like a
Hmm.
second or two, and then he's like, nah, it's okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I know how he is.
Exactly. And then you realize you're like, because you kind of see it from their angle. You're like, all right, well, they got a family too and stuff like that. So, if you're able to try to, take the call for them or anything like that, it helps.
The only thing that sucks is I work with my family, right? So we cannot all
Oh,
take the
okay.
same
Yeah.
time off. So
Yeah.
we don't
Yeah.
get
No, that's,
the vacations together and all that anymore, but we try every now and then. Um, so
yeah.
then were you gonna say something?
No, no, no. I
Oh,
was waiting
okay.
for you to see.
So then we're
Okay.
is like the TikTok and all that kind of like your hobby now? Like are you doing your editing and
Yeah.
all that?
Yeah, I've taken it seriously, and honestly, for me, I didn't have really any expectation, like following wise and view wise, like of like what I'd get when I started making these videos. And I forgot, I think it was a video I posted. It was like a mini split that had like dirty filters, and that was one that like took off. Like it had like over 1,000 views, and for me, I was like, oh my gosh, 1,000 views, like
Yeah.
that's crazy. And then, more consistency. I talked to Josh Dent about how I could improve my videos. And just like over time,
Yeah.
they've been able to grow. And now I'm sitting, at, I think I'm almost at 3,000 followers. And I started, mid-March. And I'm just like, wow, this is going in a direction I didn't even realize was possible. So
No, it's
and
cool.
even sitting here with you talking to you, I'm just like, my mind's still blown. Like, it's cool,
No,
I watched your videos, man, so many times. Like it's crazy.
it's I'm still not used to it. Like I do this and I just kind of I don't think about I don't think about all the public eye or anything like that. Like I just like right
Mhm.
now I'm just talking to you. That's all I'm thinking about. And I try not
Yeah.
to think about the extra stuff or and that's the kind of the way like you mentioned like you didn't know what you were gonna like you didn't have any expectations. That's a good way to go
Yeah.
about it because if you go into it like I need to have so many followers, I need to have so many like whatever, like it's you're gonna be miserable.
Mhm.
Like when I started, I
Exactly.
didn't have any expectations either. Like I'm just, I wanted to document my work because there was some stuff that I
Mhm.
thought was at the time I thought it was crazy. Now I don't do that kind of work anymore. I do more like dry cut, fix this, fix
Mhm.
that. Like before I had
Yeah.
some weird spaces that I had to get into and stuff like that. That's why I kind of
Yeah.
wanted to start. And it just like it went from there, right? So
Mhm.
Josh is actually one that I wanted to talk to about because like he's always experimenting with different things and like his content. You can tell when he
Yeah,
adds something new to it. Like
and
there's
man,
always
he
something that
makes
he
great
adds.
content. Yeah, I love his content.
It was awesome talking to him because he's so like he's just genuine, right? So it was a
Mhm.
great time talking to him and he's big on family and I love that. So it was a cool one.
Yeah. No,
But
that's
but I do like the videos that you're posting out. I wanted to kind of get that in before we finish. Because you
oh,
are
cool. Thank
explaining
you.
everything like
Mhm.
as you go. And
Yeah.
I was not because I'm not a big talker. I know I do this, but I'm not a big talker.
Mhm.
I'm like more of an introvert. That was something I struggled with in this trade because I didn't know that it required so much customer service, right? Being able to
Mhm.
talk to people, being able to, handle different situations. So I
Yeah.
think this has helped me also with my business, being able to be more of a people person. But
Mhm.
uh, in my videos, I think I took most of them down. I didn't talk a lot. So seeing yours and kind of explaining what you do, like you said, it could
Mhm.
help somebody. And I know you touched on it earlier. Like, even if you were just changing filters or doing this or doing that, like,
Mhm.
I always think it's cool seeing a new content creator come up because whether
Mhm.
you're doing filters, whether you're doing actual service or installs, like there's other people that do that, right? And everybody's on
Yeah.
TikTok, everybody's on Instagram, they're all watching,
Yeah.
whatever they have interest in and it's helpful.
And to what you're saying is everyone has TikTok. I definitely learned that the other day I was driving, I'm driving down, and someone pulls up next to me in an AC truck, and they're telling me to roll down my window. I'm like, what did I do? Like I'm thinking,
Yeah,
like, did I cut him
when
off?
that's happened, when that's happened to me, I think they want to fight me or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, so I'm like, "Oh, man, like, what did I do? Come on." Like, so he's wrote down he's like, "Oh, man, you're the AC guy on TikTok or whatever." And I'm like, I froze because 'cause I'm like, this was it didn't feel real. I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" He's like, "Oh, no, I watch all your videos, da 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 da." So I was able to record him or whatever, and it was cool, like, to run into someone who watches my videos. And even saying how, like, your girlfriend saw, like, my van video, like, that's, like, to me, that's just, like, mind-blowing. Like, it's so awesome that, like, I've
The
been able
reach,
to, grow like
yeah,
this.
the reach is crazy right now because like, well, she likes what I do and even the work stuff. Like we'll talk about work. Like I get my little
Mhm,
therapy after work sometimes when I just have a conversation
mhm.
with her.
Yeah, just
Um,
wanna rant, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So somebody has to listen. So
Exactly.
so like she sees like the other podcasters, right? Like HVAC Uncensored. She sees Jake's videos,
Mhm,
Curtis's videos. Like she'll keep up with it, so she knows that kind of stuff. So now her TikTok is every now and then. I guess she gets suggested like HVAC stuff, and then she'll show me like
mhm,
some of the different videos and stuff like that. So that's why she
mhm.
was like, "Oh, he has a van like yours." I was like, I had to check it out. So I
Yeah,
was like, okay. Um,
yeah.
but the reach is crazy because like I've had customers like managers, hey, I've seen your videos and this and that. So I'm like, oh crap, I need to be careful.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So I'm not there on that level yet because I'm still, growing and stuff like that. But I'm definitely nervous to one point where if people are gonna really like be able to be like, all right, I see your videos, like, and it's like a customer or something like that. Like that's like for me, I'm like, uh-oh.
Well, just talk to Kurt about it because he gets that all the time. A
Oh,
lot of
really?
his customers know that he has a YouTube channel. I think he's
Uh-huh.
recently only had one that asked him not to record because they knew or something. I forgot
Uh-huh.
what it was, but yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of his customers he has told us they already know that he has a channel and everything. And some I
That's
think some
cool.
of them have requested him or called him because of that.
Oh, cool. That's cool. Yeah, no, my boss, he like from the jump, he was just told me, he's just like, be careful, like, I'm liable if someone gets upset, so just don't record anything personal or anything like that. So I'm always like, very cautious of what I'm actually getting in the videos versus what I'm not. So you just got to be
Yeah,
careful because
it
some people get mad.
oh yeah. So well for me it's always like because I work in restaurants, everything is branded by that restaurant, right? Like
Hmm.
their logos on everything. So I try not to show where I'm at because if
Hmm.
I uncover something and there's roaches or whatever it is, like I don't want them to get after me. So try to
Hmm.
cut all that out. Or if I can only record on the rooftop, then I'll do that. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's some guys that don't think about that. Like you got to be respectful. So just be careful because I know there's guys that like
Yeah.
film the actual person like in their face. I'm like I don't know how they get away
Oh
with
my
it, but
gosh. Yeah. I don't,
yeah.
yeah, I'm like, I wonder they have the camera. Like, I always think, like, is it a body cam? Like, I feel so,
Well,
like,
Kurt wears
nervous to record.
yeah, Kurt wears his
Oh,
like that, but he'll point it down or he'll
okay.
like he
Okay.
won't start recording until he's like at the unit or something like that. So
Okay.
he's respectful about it, but some people just they have it on the whole
Hmm.
time.
Yeah, I've
Just
seen
be
that.
careful because you never know.
Yeah, no,
Is there
especially what were you saying?
is there anything you wanna or did you have something else to add?
Oh no, I was just gonna like just add on to what you're saying. Just definitely, I always because my boss told me just to be careful. I don't want anything to be liable for, you know what I mean, for him since I work for him and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't want to cause trouble either, like with anybody, because like commercial, there's management, there's area managers, like
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. So, like the ones that have seen it are like happy about it. They're like, oh, it's cool, this and that. So thankfully,
Hmm.
nothing bad. The only thing that did piss off, but this was before YouTube. I like to have fun with things, right? So I have the shirts. I did recently change it because I wanted to. Our old
Hmm.
shirts used to say, "I'm here because you broke something," and it was a fun shirt that I made, and my dad wanted to make
Yeah.
them uniforms, right? He's like, "Put that on the
Uh-huh.
uniform." Like it's funny. I did, and everybody would laugh at it. It was always a conversation starter, like, "Oh, they laughed," or I didn't break anything or whatever. I had a
Hmm.
couple of managers at one location. I didn't like going there. They got so upset about it, and they thought it was offensive.
No.
I was like, "Really?" And my dad had to handle that, but yeah, you never know with people.
Yeah.
That's my whole point.
Yeah. There's some interesting situations with customers. Not even with like videos and stuff, but you always get that one customer that you're
Yeah.
just like, whoa, okay, I gotta step away now.
So I like I said, I'm a little. I don't talk as much, but like if somebody gets on my
Mhm.
nerves or somebody like comes up to me or has an issue,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm trying to
Don't
be
know.
yeah, I'm trying to be
Yeah.
respectful. Like
Yeah.
I have to step away because I'm like I don't know what'll happen because I
Yeah.
like my dad is that hothead. My dad used to get in
Yeah.
fights. My grandpa used to get in fights. Like that runs in the family. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I'm not confrontational, but I don't like to be pushed around. So like
Hmm.
another thing that I had to learn was
Same
like
way.
to
Yeah.
walk away because some of these customers will get in your face, will give you a hard
Hmm.
time. I've had
Hmm.
even people that come on here that I can't even imagine being in their situation, going to somebody's house and them having an issue or whatever, whatever's going on.
Hmm.
You gotta, that's another part you gotta learn is especially you doing residential, like how you handle yourself, whether it's on camera or off camera, because of the customer,
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, I've had like even like silly things like I had to pop off the head of a mini split and a little bit of drywall got on the floor. So I asked the customer, like, at the time I should have thought like, oh, I should have grabbed my shop back and did it. But I was like, hey, do you have a broom? I'll sweep it up, of course. No, that's construction. You're not using my broom that I put on my floors to sweep up your drywall. I was like, I'm sorry. Okay, cool. And I just walked outside, got my, wiped it up, and that was it. But I don't even want to get into that because that was just it was an ongoing thing the whole time, just back and forth. But
Yeah,
you get some of those.
I have some of those locations where I don't like going to because I know it's always gonna be an argument, or
Oh my gosh,
I
yeah,
have to bite my tongue just not to, or try to
hmm
avoid, certain people. So you
yeah,
deal with that because you deal with different customers all the time. You deal with different places. So that's always another thing you have to keep in mind, because you could be great at fixing something, and I love working on equipment. I can do that all day, but the customer
yeah,
service, whether it's a good customer or a bad customer, that's a whole different thing.
yeah. No, it's important. Customer service. The only reason I'm able to be disciplined in customer service. I worked at Chick-fil-A in high school, so I had to
Oh
learn a
yeah,
lot about that. Yeah.
that's a
So I
hectic
was
one.
yeah, I was the my pleasure guy. So it was that's like some of the stuff like or even working at Marshalls and stuff like that kind of stuff I'm able to bring over to HVAC and talk to customers and build relationships and stuff like that.
And it sounds like you had some of the hectic ones before. So
Yeah.
before we close it out, we've been here over an hour now.
Mhm.
It's been a great conversation.
Yeah, I'm
Do
sorry.
you,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know if I've gone too long talking. I could talk a
no,
lot, so I'm sorry.
no, it's good because then we went over a lot of good things, and it's always
Mhm.
good to get input because you're 2 years in, 19, and there's a lot of that's why, like, seeing you and some of those other guys that are on YouTube that are like 19, 20
Mhm.
maybe, but like a lot of them are in that age range. They get a lot of people that I see in the comments. Like I go look at everybody's stuff. Like you get a lot of kids that are looking to get into the trades or just
Yeah.
starting out, and they're on YouTube, on TikTok. So it's always good to
Mhm.
see that. And I think this episode, this conversation kind of hit on a lot of good things for those people that are looking to get into it,
Yeah, I hope that's yeah, that was
or
my
they
goal
just
with this,
started.
definitely hoping.
Do you
Yeah.
have any advice to close out, being, this early in the trade, and kind of like your experience, or what helped you? Any advice for somebody that is in that situation?
Yeah, definitely there's gonna be hard days. The trade comes with so much rewarding stuff, but just being able to just lock in and know that not every day is gonna be perfect. You're gonna be in hot attics. You're gonna deal with customers. You're gonna hurt yourself. And things are just going to cause frustration. Things are going to make you want to quit. But just, having the mindset to just push through all that negativeness, all the even outside noise of people telling you, like, oh, you do HVAC, you're, tradesman, not college, you're 19. Like, it's not too early to start. Start now, skip college if you want to, because I'm telling you right now, you'll be ahead of almost everyone who is in college 4 years down the line when you could get your license and start your own business and they're just getting out of school. Like it's definitely has so many different routes, so I would just suggest just pushing out the outside noise and just really locking in on it.
There you go. You could, the way I look at it, you could spend 4+ years chasing a degree that you don't have a job ready for, or you could just go out and get a trades job,
Hmm.
get your license, and that's what I did. Get your
Hmm.
license in 4 years and do your own thing.
Yep, exactly.
Um, yeah, man. So I appreciate you for coming on, and that's another. Well, real quick, that's another thing is
Yeah.
when I started, I had that
Hmm.
stigma too because I was 20, 21. I was a boss's kid. I was
Hmm.
in charge of a lot of things, and
Yeah.
I felt like I did enough of the schooling and the, like, trying to learn more after work and after school and stuff. I felt like I did enough of that and I was ahead, right? But
Yeah.
nobody looked at me like that. They all saw me as a kid. They all saw me
Yep.
as a boss's son. Who is
Hmm.
this guy? Whatever. Like, nobody wanted to hear
Hmm.
anything. So I had to go through that, and I had to just stick to what I knew and speak up for myself as well, be confident, build up that confidence in
Hmm.
yourself as a technician and just as a person out in the field, because you're going to get it from customers and you're going to get it from your coworkers. So
Yep.
stick up for yourself, speak up,
Yep.
be confident, build that up. That is something that I went through a lot in the early years. Even I second guessed myself a little bit, but I was like, "No, I know this. I learned this. I'm learning. I'm doing things
Yep.
the right way, and just I got to stick up."
Yeah, no, definitely walking into either a customer's house or if it's a commercial place and being like, I look young, like you're not gonna look at me and be like, oh, he's 30 or 40, you know what I mean? So like you get those looks and then you get the extra questions like, oh, this or oh, that, or how do you know what I mean? So like it's just having that confidence in yourself, whether it's where you're at now or again, my age, where it's even more, important just because you're gonna get so many looks and so many people are gonna look at you like, "Is this kid? He's a kid." Like, you know what I mean? Like, what? How much does he know? So stuff like that is important to just remain, believing in yourself and not just like second guessing everything you do.
Yeah, it's awesome. And thanks again, man. I appreciate the
Yeah.
conversation and you taking the time to just sit down here for a bit. And
Mm.
thanks again.
No, man, this was awesome. I totally enjoyed this podcast with you, man. This is like, I can't wait to tell my buddy about this because we watched you, man, going through trade school and stuff. So this is awesome.
That's always the weirdest part to me is like I've had people that tell me that, and then sometimes
Mhm.
the class or the school puts up my videos, and
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
like, I'm like, I'm like,
Yeah.
why? But all right. But
Yeah.
either way, man, I appreciate it. Everybody
Yeah.
watching and listening, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.